our GCIC, or Georgia Crime Information Center certification for our employees, as well as our Tyler technology training. And so we have Tyler technology in our criminal justice system. That is what supports our unified case and document management system. And that connects all of our criminal justice partners. So the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, the clerk's office, the judges, we are all connected via that Tyler system. But we have to be trained to be able to utilize that effectively, because it's a huge, beautiful system. If we don't know how to work it within our own office, then we are not properly utilizing what we are contracted to be able to use. But you have to be trained and by their own people to be able to utilize that system effectively. So training is one of the best investments that we can make, because it reduces costly errors, it improves courtroom performance, it strengthens investigations, and ultimately it produces better outcomes for victims and the Rockdale County community. So taken together, these requests really accomplish several important goals. First, they allow us to successfully prosecute increasingly complex homicide cases. If you all know, you have in the palm of your hands your life, your cell phone. And we are seeing more and more with each case that cases are made or broken by what's inside of somebody's cell phone. And that's just the reality. But in order for us to be able to adequately use the evidence in there, we have to be able to access it, retrieve it, and be able to know how to do so. And so that's where we need to be able to have the support to do that. Second of all, these requests modernize our office through digitization and technology, and they improve victim services. They also ensure that every member of our office remains trained and current on laws, procedures, and best practices. And finally, they improve efficiency. Every hour saved through technology is another hour our prosecutors can devote to preparing cases, meeting with victims, and appearing in court. These are investments that strengthen justice while maximizing taxpayer resources. So as we move into our current organization chart, I'll move on to the next slide. We are making a request and ask. Our current office consists of 43 employees. That consists of our attorneys, of course, our investigators. We have victim witness advocates, as well as support staff members as well. To meet our current demands, we are requesting an approval of one additional ADA, as well as one legal assistant, too. We are also requesting the conversion of one part-time file clerk position into a full-time position, which will result in an increase of 245 employees in our DA's office. Now, the request for this personnel budget, it has been submitted to HR, and also we are, let me see here, and there was going to be a comprehensive, I believe, study as well for salaries for our ADAs as well. But this additional ADA that we're asking for will allow us to reduce caseloads and dedicate more attention to complex felony prosecutions. And the legal assistant 2 position will also increase efficiency by ensuring that attorneys spend more time practicing law and less time performing those more administrative functions. Converting the file clerk position to a full-time position improves records management and supports the office's transition towards a greater digitization of the documents. These are all positions that are focused on improving productivity, efficiency, and service, not simply increasing headcounts. So we did discuss parts 2 and 3 of this current slide. But as it pertains to part 1, right, currently I, as a DA, receive a supplement as a district attorney, paid by the county. However, due to recent changes in the law regarding DA pay at the state level, that supplement amount must be reduced, okay? And so thus, there will be funds available that we have requested and have presented that to HR to be reallocated to executive leadership in the DA's office based upon their supervisory and leadership roles. So that is not an increase, as it is a reallocation of the funds that are remaining from my previous supplement that was allowed for last year. As it pertains to part 4, we are asking for that reclassification of our ADA positions and our senior DA position that has also been submitted to HR for consideration. I think there was going to be a comprehensive or compensation study done in relation to that. But if you would indulge me, This time, I do want to provide context regarding what is going to be this request as it relates to attorney compensation. One of the greatest challenges facing prosecutors' offices, both throughout the state and also nationally, is recruitment and the retention of experienced prosecutors. Unlike many areas of government, the work of an ADA is highly specialized. Prosecutors are entrusted with handling our community's most serious crimes: homicides, sexual assaults, child abuse, domestic violence, armed robberies, and crimes against our most vulnerable citizens. These cases require years of courtroom experience, legal expertise, sound judgment, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Unfortunately, prosecutors are increasingly leaving public service for opportunities in private practice, neighboring jurisdictions, or state and federal agencies that offer significantly higher salaries and often lower caseloads. When we lose our experienced prosecutors, we don't simply lose an employee. We lose years of institutional knowledge, established relationships with victims and law enforcement, trial experience, and expertise that cannot be quickly replaced. The cost of turnover is substantial. Recruiting, hiring, onboarding, and training a new prosecutor takes months, if not years sometimes. And during that time, existing attorneys must absorb additional caseload. That can lead to delays in prosecution, increased workloads, and added stress on the attorneys who remain. Investing in competitive salaries is ultimately reasonable decision-making. Retaining experienced prosecutors reduces turnover costs, improves efficiency, ensures continuity in complex cases, and helps us deliver timely justice for victims and the community at large. Competitive compensation also strengthens our ability to recruit talented attorneys who are committed to public service. Without competitive salaries, we risk becoming a training ground where attorneys gain valuable experience and then leave for higher paying opportunities elsewhere, usually in DeKalb or Fulton County. But public safety depends not only on law enforcement officers making arrests, but also on experienced prosecutors, this office, successfully holding offenders accountable in court. Every case that precedes efficiently, every victim who receives justice and every dangerous offender who is held accountable is made possible by dedicated prosecutors who choose to remain in public service. This request is not simply about increasing salaries. It is about preserving experience, maintaining continuity, reducing turnover, and ensuring that the Rockdale District Attorney's Office remains staffed with talented professionals capable of protecting the people of Rockdale County. And so as we move into the last part of our presentation, which is our 5-year capital improvement plan, our focus here is really on supporting the investigations division of my office and needs to help further investigate and retrieve evidence for prosecution purposes. This is our first year actually presenting a 5-year capital improvement plan. And so because it's focused on investigations, I'm going to ask my chief investigator, Michael Cobb, if he would join us and make that presentation before the board.
I'm glad you said that because I was like, a 5-year capital plan?
I know, for the office, right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Vaness and
Good
Commissioner
afternoon.
Smith. Thank you guys for giving me a few minutes to talk about the why behind our capital improvement requests. D.A. Johnson made reference, actually emphasized 2 really important things when she was speaking earlier, and those are public safety and technology. And those 2 things are kind of at the core behind the 3 projects that we're requesting under the capital improvement plan. Technology is ever-changing, and it gets away from you very quickly. I'm only 41, and I can feel myself becoming not obsolete, but losing currency in technology. Because while I may have been up to speed 5-10 years ago, it changes so quickly.
Yeah.
I have in here pretty much my whole life. And I would imagine most people in this room do as well. I only have one phone, and it probably has a pretty small, I'm pretty cheap, so it's probably like 64 gigabytes of data. But during police investigations, cell phones are taken, they are searched because there's evidence in them, and they can go up to 256 gigabytes of data, up to 2 terabytes of data. A terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes, and a gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes, and it scales down from there. The sheer volume of the data that comes from these things is very overwhelming. Now, I have one phone. Drug dealers have at least 2. They got one to talk to mom on, and they've got one to talk to their clients on, and then it kind of goes up from there. In a complex case, it could be that multiple cell phones are taken and they're searched, and the data that comes from those can be extremely valuable in our prosecutions. And so we have to have a good way to take in that data in a way that doesn't slow us down and hamper the rest of our processes. What we are seeking is a contract with Axon Justice. Axon is the parent company over Taser. They do body cams, they do tasers, they do a lot of things. But Axon Justice is a program that is designed specifically for prosecutors' offices. And what it intends to do is to improve efficiency in the intake of data, particularly digital evidence, and allow prosecutors' offices to work with it seamlessly. And they also have a lot of features, and we've had a lot of time to look at it, to implement AI to really streamline our workflow as we use it. We currently have in our office, we have 10 post-certified law enforcement officers as investigators in the DA's office with an average of 23.7 years of law enforcement experience. Did the math about 30 minutes ago. I'm pretty sure I'm right. We range from 16 years of experience up to 41 years of law enforcement experience. And of those 237 years, all but about 10 of them are in service of this community. And what we need to be doing is relying on that experience, applying that experience in a way that's meaningful to our cases, as opposed to doing the manual work behind intake of evidence and organizing evidence and notating things when Axon Justice can do it for us. That frees us up to really apply our skills in a way that's meaningful and can make a big difference in these cases. To give you just a few of the major points of Axon Justice that we were interested in, it will provide us unlimited data storage of all evidence, of all digital evidence. So in general, what we get from the police department or the sheriff's office may be some body cam, maybe a 911 call, maybe a few pictures, and the rest is just documentation, it's reports. But on the far end of the spectrum, we've got body cam from 10 to 15 to 30 officers. We've got CCTV, we've got Ring camera, we've got 911 calls, we've got videos, we've got social media videos, we've got 500 crime scene photos. It's a lot to take in. And the way that we're currently constituted with the free version of Axon, it is a major time waste to try to take that in. And what we end up doing is we place that on hard drives, CDs, flash drives. And what we have experienced over the last couple of years is they're not sufficient to store what we need them to store, but when we do use them, we have problems with them. They don't perform very well. They slow your computer down, prevent you from using Microsoft Outlook, or just completely corrupting. I had a 1 terabyte hard drive last year that just out of nowhere became corrupted and was unusable. I mean, that was dozens of hours of work to put together a case file on a drive. So this takes us away from that. This is cloud-based digital storage. That does not give us those limitations of physical storage that have caused us some of those problems. Some of the features in Axon Justice, in addition to the efficiency that it provides us and the digital storage that it provides us, it also gives us, they will do AI summaries. So if I upload 20 body cam videos and ingest it into Axon, it will review, analyze, and give me a summary of what happened. It'll tell me how many suspects were arrested, which officer arrested them, if Miranda was read, which is fairly important for us. Was there a search done? Was consent given for that search? It is set up to identify those key moments in an investigation, which again can save hours and hours and hours on our end trying to find those things. Our second project.
Can I ask you a question real
Yes,
quick?
ma'am.
Were there any other programs you looked at that
Yes.
does something similar to Axon?
Yeah, so from what I've seen, there are 2 major players in this market in Georgia. It's Axon Justice and Nice Justice.
Okay.
I've met with both of them. We've done demos with both. Axon seems to be superior from what I've seen, and
Right.
I have spoken to probably 10 different prosecution offices and tried to get their take on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've not found anyone that had that would have preferred the other over this.
Now, because we have it for our sheriff's department, is there any interface that would occur or be beneficial to your department?
I do think that it probably works better, but it is designed to work with all different types of systems. So if for
Okay.
some reason, if the sheriff's office or the police department were still on L3, which is what they used to use for their body cams, it
Right.
would work. You know, they have a lot of things built in to work with different programs.
Well, they're about to go to Axon. They have an Axon contract.
The sheriff's office, they're currently using Axon right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But it
But
wouldn't change anything if they were
Okay.
on it. If
I
they
just
ever
didn't
went
know
away
if
from
there
it.
was anything good about working with them collaboratively.
Yeah, I would assume so. And one thing that we have run into is currently Axon, what we use, the type of Axon that we use right now is just the free prosecutor version. They do not allow us to store any non-Axon evidence. So anything other than Axon body cam and Axon dash cam we're not authorized to have that on our server, essentially.
And
So-
when would that be applicable if it was from another department that didn't use Axon?
No, it would be anything that is not one of those two things. So a 911 call, which is in 90% of our cases, I can't store them there. I have to put it on a CD. So I'm wasting a CD just because it doesn't. Now with Axon Justice, that's not the case. They will take all third-party data.
Oh,
But
I see.
what we currently have, that's our huge limitation.
I see.
The Axon Justice is the solution to that. They will take
I
in
see.
all
Okay.
evidence. Right. Yeah, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear on
No,
that.
no, okay, that makes sense.
Right. And the second project is Motorola APX 900 radios. D.A. Johnson referred to this earlier. We have had in the past portable radios that were essentially hand-me-downs from the sheriff's office, and they've probably been in the DA's office for 15 years, I would imagine. They're old. They're really good paperweights. But when the county upgraded to the P25 radio system, they became less effective and eventually obsolete. And so we have to have some way of communicating with whether it be courthouse deputies or deputies out when we're out in the field. We need to be able to speak to the EOC, the Emergency Operations
Yes.
Center, so that we can contact the sheriff's office. We spend quite a bit of, most of our time is in the office and in the courthouse because that is our primary role, but we spend quite a bit of time in the field talking to witnesses, canvassing scenes, developing additional evidence, and we need to be able to communicate with our law enforcement partners while
And do
we're
you
out there.
use body cameras?
We do not have body cameras now.
Okay.
No, and that wouldn't be part of this request. That may be something in the future that we revisit.
Okay.
And that kind of parlays into Project 3, which is emergency equipment, blue lights and sirens in our vehicles. We have 10 vehicles that our investigators use. It would be an uncommon scenario where we would be out there doing traffic stops. We are certainly not pulling people over for speeding, but I'll give you just one little use case scenario. About 2 months ago, right at the end of the school year, I was out serving a witness to bring them to trial. And a car came up behind me and was tailgating me, and I heard screaming, and I looked out, and there was a young man leaning out of the front passenger seat with a ski mask on, yelling at my car. Kind of weird. Not a normal thing to see on an afternoon on Smyrna Road. They obviously needed to be stopped based on the way they were driving. I don't have blue lights, and I didn't have a radio, so I had to call 911 from my phone. Took me a few minutes to get a deputy to me, but we did, and we handled the situation. But that was something that I certainly could have handled myself, or at least I could have coordinated with deputies nearby. Once we got them, they needed to be put off the road.
Okay, that was a really smart thing you just said.
Which part?
About those additional traffic stops.
Yeah,
because,
right.
I mean, it's hard to meet all the needs of any community, and
Correct.
so when you see things so obvious like that.
Yeah,
it is a plus.
again, we certainly are not traffic enforcement. That's not our goal. That's not our purpose. There are some things that endanger the community that we need to be able to act on. I've rolled up on just accidents before where I needed to block the road to
Yeah.
keep them safe, and I didn't have blue lights to do it. So that is, of course, is the reason for that
Let
ask.
me ask you a question in reference to your post-certification investigators that are in the courthouse. What relation would you have with the sheriff's department being in the courthouse and having additional coverage that they may?
In terms of just communicating with them. So one of the reasons that this is a need for us is should there ever be an emergency in this area, in the judicial complex, we would have the ability to respond and assist the sheriff's office if there were something that came up. Not only do we have 23 years of experience, but several of the people that work in our office have SWAT experience and active shooter training. You know, we are the people that you want to respond to those situations, to deal with them. We're a force multiplier for the deputies that currently work here in the Old Town area.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Chief Investigator Cobb. And so that concludes the formality of our presentation. But I begin by stating that every budget tells a story, and I do want to conclude by stating that every budget also reflects priorities. And the priority of our office is first and foremost to protect the people of Rockdale County. And we believe that our requests are investments that are targeted towards strengthening prosecution, improving efficiency, and modernizing our operations, and also enhancing victim services. And so I know that we are under fiscal restraints, but I'll be derelict in my duty to the people of Rockdale County, the victims of crime, and the families of victims who are not here to speak on their own behalf if I did not make known to the people the needs for effective prosecution. And so, with that said, I appreciate your time and attention and consideration of our fiscal year 2027 budget requests, and respectfully ask for your support and such. But thank you, and I'll be open to any questions that you may have at this time.
Well, great presentation. Certainly it helped to tell the story so we have a better
Yes.
understanding of some of the goals that we may not have been privy to. So
Absolutely.
very, very helpful. What kind of efficiency, if you had to just guess, would you have once you get your whole team in one place? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
What has
Yeah.
it been years since that's happened?
So for those who do not know, our office is currently located in 3 totally different and separate buildings. So we have a one department on one location, I'm going to say where, but one location, another half located in another location, and then we have a bunch of us in the courthouse. And so, yeah, being able to move files across 3 different locations is wholly inefficient, but being able to be in one place is going to certainly magnify that tremendously, to be able to even have think tanks, in your immediate location is important.
Absolutely.
So we are
Absolutely.
looking forward to being able to be all under one roof, or at least in one building for sure. So that's going to support us
Okay.
tremendously.
Well, I'm going to pray for at least 10% of gain for you,
Thank you.
and I know that you're going to have a happier team all together.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your flexibility with everything.
Absolutely.
It's a work in progress.
Yes, but it's going to be worth it, well worth it once all
Yes.
done and complete. So thank you
Okay.
all for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, so we have the clerk of courts up next. Listen, appreciate you coming over early. That will be tab 11 in your binder.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you all doing today?
We're good.
Chair
Yes.
and Commissioner Smith, thank you all for inviting me and getting us back here once again for the year budget. I did also like to acknowledge I brought in my accounting for my division. Ms. Shelley is my senior accountant. So therefore, with that team and her and I, we should be able to present this budget with the easy breezy, and it will be real quick. Good afternoon. I'm Janice Morris. I'm your Rockdale County Elected Superior State Court, Clerk of Court. It is an honor and a pleasure to be able to come again before you, the commissioners, to present our budget as presented for August 2026. I would like to state before we move forward, this will be the quickest budget I ever seen. Why is
Awesome.
that? Because we have no change in our budget from 2026. But we could go, oh, that's right, I do. Y'all give me every time about that clicker.
I know, we like keep you on your toes, right?
Right. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a class on this one. Thank you. I'm gonna take your class real soon. All right. Hold on. My glasses over there? I didn't bring in the glass up. I did. No, no, walked out. Yeah, they have a little shade.
What are you looking for?
Age comes before beauty, but I think sight becomes before anything else after a while when you hit those numbers, and I'm not going to reveal that to the public. Again, good afternoon. We're going to go on and state to the stakeholders as well, presented to you the value and the principle and our mission statement. The mission statement of the Rockdale County Clerk of Court, our purpose is to always be a vision. With the vision of Rockdale County Clerk and Superior State Court, we too provide responsive and fair service as we diverse community deliver by the team as we dedicate employees who are always standing on the most three important things: approachable, accessible, and accountable, stewards of the clerks and stewards of the records of the courts. Within the mission statement states as Rockdale County Clerk of Superior Court and State Court, mission is to serve all citizens of Rockdale County effectively, a stellar customer service to public service, all while maintaining and preserving the court records and fostering the public trust and providing guidance to the judicial process. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Opportunity and challenges and success. I know we have made a tremendous impact in our community. Within our success stories, okay, the clicker, that's right. Within the success stories, Madam and Commissioners, I am honored to say 90% of our work is hybrid online. It's also the personal notary and training that we were able to accomplish within the Rockdale County. Well-attended law library speaker series relevant to legal topics, as we have served the community as we cannot give legal advice. We also restored and protect the history of deeds and military discharge books. Those are final. I will yield to you to get opportunity to come and see those amazing books. That is going to be a lifetime, well-protected, secured for the public, for the history and continual life of Rockdale County. For us, the opportunities are things that we're wishing and we're going to continue. We're going to look into AI. I think everybody's saying, AI software is existing, but it's very valuable that we stay with the latest in e-filing as we provide caseloads. We stay within the guidelines and that we are protected by the security of our software. We have now fully remoted our deposits, checks into our bank account, whereas we used to have to walk to the bank every single day. Rain, sleet, or snow. I am very proud of that successful story with my administrator as well as my senior accountant. We now have ACA's payment to attorneys and any other garnishments that we would like to be able to make it accessible, easy, and efficient for the citizens, those who may or may not be able to come to the courthouse. Challenges. We are in a process of relocating location unknown. Meaning at this time, due to transition of the courthouse, we are still unknown where the clerk of court office will be terminally located. Continue accessibility to the courts, I stand on that, so we could be accessible to the public. I will work the logistic out to make sure we don't have no interruption with the citizens of Rockdale County. You can reassure that, thanks to my team, and thanks to me making sure, working with our judges, that we do not fail or delete or separate the community by our great changes that's coming before us, okay? As again, the Golden Initiative, we have, for many years of Rockdale County, I'm going to expound on this completion of the courthouse. It has also been a dream come true. Being a resident of Rockdale County 27 years, and on the 27th day of year, I get to see this model really come before us. As a stakeholder, as elected official, a dream come true. As we continue to strategize, reimagine, and I'm going to say this again, reimagine, I think we will make this mission continue to work. So completion of the courthouse will be at that time. Let's talk about finance and operation budget. This is where the most important thing, taxpayer dollars, and focus on what we're operating. As you see the previous years of the operation budget from 2026 to 2027, no change in our operation expense budget. Why is that? I'll elaborate that in a moment. To our personnel service and benefits, it has been a slight increase by wages, budgets, and as well as employees who were rewarded for their advance training and as well as their success story and promotions. So the benefit of that personnel budget and benefits, and also to be able to meet the standards of hiring other clerks and people with experience that we could be able to bring in qualified employees. So again, a little bit change from 199, 1 million to 99,000 to 2,189,000. The change is now grossed up to 255, 250. I stand before you, the Rockdale County citizens, with my organization chart. What that is that I am now 97% fully staffed with 3 vacancies. And what that means is that I do my due diligence to make sure the Rockdale County meet the needs of the public as served and all the employees that can and will work their position to make sure we be good stewards of service to our public. With that, the vacancies we have is 2 outstanding ones, legal office administrator. I take that very seriously. I need to make sure I have qualified people. I need a civil division manager. With the civil division manager comes in with someone with at least a good qualification stating that they at least have some kind of paralegal degree of some sort. But anyone that wishes to apply, it is online what your qualifications are. Again, as mentioned, I'm going to thank you in advance because I made it an effort to not to ask for anything that is not required. In the instances that we are in a transition, trying to put people in place, whereas we are providing a new facility, I will yield. Commissioners, no need to ask for any additional until we get all of this fixed and measure out.
Thank you.
That's not saying 2028, because that's expectation of growth, and we will measure that together. But I have something to enlighten you and the citizen of Rockdale County. The due diligence of the working in the clerk of court office, the revenue. Why it's important at the clerk of court office, we bring revenue to our Rockdale County. I just want to enlighten you, just in case you have not really made a note of this. Just as of 2026 of this year, we have given back the Board of Commissioners, due to fines and fees, processed all documents that we also have to request funds for, and then we turn around and give it back to the Board of Commissioners. Is that state as of 2026, $1 million, 710,999.77 cents was in the deposit, whereas we collect fines and fees to be able to offset the budget of Rockdale County.
And what were those amounts? I'm sorry.
I'm going to give you a copy. $1,710,991.77. So that tells you how valuable it is. We have to have accessibility to the courts. So all revenue and fines and fees, as we mandated by the state of Georgia to collect those fines, we ought to turn 1% over to the Board of Commissioner. This is the first time I really endorsed looking at this number in that way. That says a lot. The community are giving back and also the service we provide. But just alone in 2025, we were able to get a Board of Commissioner $3,318,885.94. Chairman and Commissioners, I hope you see the hard work. Why it's very important that I'm 97% accessible to the public. As people come in and request documents and so on and so forth, it's a backup to a revenue. That is going to the Board of Commissioners. So at that time, we make sure we have no interruption, and we make sure the county has accessibility to the courts at all times. As we grow, as Rockdale County grow, I kind of ran some census. I don't know why. The census of Rockdale came up at 99,000 citizens of Rockdale County as of 2026. I think we're about a little bit more than that. So people are going to need the courthouse. They're going to need the clerk of court office, as well as fines and fees that's regulated by GSCCCA, whereas we work directly with the board, the commissioner's office, not only the commissioners as well as the DA's office. We have to collect fines and fees for those crimes and those values of things, so it comes for, so we can provide back. Just want to say, keep in mind, I only ask for what I need, not what I want. I am also believing in being fiscal conservative, but what I also say, when you shift $1, please make sure it gets the need of the other person that may need the next dollar. Also, I see that we are going through some trying times and difficulties, but I'm gonna reassure you, it won't be no interruptions of the Rockdale County Superior Clerk of Court. Any question? I yield to you.
No, I think
You're
that was
welcome.
great. Thank you. I appreciate your financial stewardship for the taxpayers.
Excuse me?
I said I appreciate your financial stewardship to the taxpayers.
Absolutely. And just to say, Mr. Muhammad, thank you for your well compliment. I appreciate your encouragement and that you give me the guidance that I need as well as financials, okay? But the needs and wants are two different things. Thank you.
Thank you.
I should be the last person for the day, right?
No.
Oh.
That would be nice.
I know.
However,
I figured you would say that. Have a good day.
Thank you.
too, thank you.
Thank you.
all right, so we have technology services. We'll get the video up and going. And as she's making her way to the podium, we'll play the video. This is tab number 4 in your notebook.
Good afternoon. I'm Margaret Moore Jackson, and I'm currently serving Rockdale County government as the Chief Information Officer for the Technology Services Department. We are committed to delivering exceptional, secure, and forward-thinking technology solutions that empower Rockdale County citizens, the business community, and the workforce. TSD is primarily an internal services department which provides oversight of IT governance, system and network security, application support, project management, infrastructure operations, communication systems, digital innovation initiatives, and technology operations. A key function of TSD is IT customer support and training to the employees of the Rockdale County government. We provide the internal support through the TSD service desk, where we address approximately 6,000 to 7,000 service calls per year. A key function of TSD is IT customer support and training to the employees of the Rockdale County government. We provide this internal support through the TSD service desk, where we address approximately 6,000 to 7,000 service calls per year. To illustrate that we understand that we have to do much more with less, we continuously work to ensure that where possible, we're working to put funds to better use and striving to be good stewards of the taxpayers' funds. In TSD, we focus on efficiency and the best value for the county. The majority of TSD's budget consists of county contracts and obligated funds for all of the county's offices. It should be noted that around 70% or more of TSD's budget is used directly to support the other county departments and elected offices. With less than 30%, we are supporting the security and operability of the IT network, environment, and operating technology services office. Annually, we conduct county cell phone audits. For example, in 2025, our county cell phone audit resulted in us deactivating or canceling 67 phones, which resulted in a savings of about $46 per phone. This saves the county $3,082 per month, and is a projected savings of over $36,000 per year, and a projected savings of over $110,952 over the next 3 years. Other examples of how TSD continuously reviews the budget to ensure we are being good stewards of taxpayers' funds. During our tenure, TSD, we've upgraded the county multifunctional devices, or better known as network copiers, resulting in a projected monthly cost savings of over $6,000 per month, with a projected annual cost savings of $73,224. Thank you for the opportunity to share how technology services is helping build more efficient, responsive, and transparent county government.
That was a very professional video. All these videos today have been so great.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to present the fiscal year 2027 operating and capital budget request for the Technology Services Department. In Technology Services, we work to be an effective technology leader and change agent in business, technology, and innovation for Rockdale County government. Through collaborations with other departments, elected offices, and stakeholders, we provide efficient, cost-effective information technology services which support the vision and mission of Rockdale County. We do this by exercising the values that you see listed here. In TSD, we have embraced the county's 2026 goals. We are building trust, not just with words, but with results you can see, measure, and believe in. In Rockdale County, we're not waiting on the future, we're building tomorrow together. To further show that, these are a few of TSD's recent successes that you see listed here. The successes highlight is a reflection of our continuing efforts to continue to build upon our successes of the past, and we ensure we're taking the appropriate measures to safeguard Rockdale County IT infrastructure and continuity of operations. For just one example, you'll notice in the list that TSD upgraded over 800 endpoint devices to Windows 11. This was completed in order to comply with upgrades by Microsoft and to meet their worldwide deadline, basically ensuring that once this deadline hit, where the county's computers would continue to operate properly and receive updates. In the area of opportunities, we have ongoing collaborations with the Rockdale Water Resources to strengthen county infrastructure and continuity of operations for water resources. In TSD, we also have seized the opportunity to work with all of the departments and the applicable elected offices to identify their functional and technical requirements for preliminary planning for a countywide ERP system. To just make reference to just one of the challenges there is the decommissioning of outdated, unsupported, and vulnerable technologies, such as servers, applications, hardware, and software. The work in TSD falls under all three of the strategic themes in Reimagine Rockdale. We in Technology Services are unique and that we have approximately 100 plus additional strategic initiatives because we have to collaborate with all of the departments in the elected offices to provide technical assistance in achieving their strategic initiatives to enable them to meet their business requirements. For the 9 reimagined Rockdale strategic goals specifically assigned to TSD, they fall under the innovation strategic theme. The first 8 TSD strategic initiatives align under the strengthened infrastructure and transportation strategic goals. And our 9th strategic initiative falls under the strategic goal of integrate innovation. All of the items referenced in this budget request today are aligned with these 9 strategic initiatives for the Technology Services Department. To state our strategic initiatives another way, they're mostly resiliency initiatives. By achieving these goals and initiatives, they allow first responders and public works team to operate without disruption. IT has evolved from a tool to a necessity, and now to a driver for many business practices. It will be hard to find any services in the public sector that aren't technology-driven now. Even ones that have deep traditions and unchanged missions are accomplishing those missions with increasing dependency on new technologies. Firefighters still use water and hose to put out fires, but they now use infrared cameras and drones to search for survivors. Police officers and sheriff deputies still carry firearms and handcuffs, but now they also have smartphones and personal body cameras to collect and retrieve information on demand in the field. The mission remains the same, but technology changes how we approach the mission. This provides a summary of Technology Services Department operating budget requests for fiscal years 2026 and 27. TSD's proposed budget for fiscal year 27 is $5.8 million. This is an increase of $158,044 over the fiscal year 2026 TSD budget of $5.7 million. The majority of TSD's budget consists of contracts which service all of the departments and elected offices of Rockdale County government. The budget increase is due mainly to the annual contractual increases for these contracts. And I did round those numbers off if you're subtracting, ma'am. Okay.
How'd you know?
Because I can see you do it.
Okay,
if you
thank you.
would like the exact numbers, I will give them
No,
to you.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Thanks to the projected savings with the new Comcast, Mastergy, and Microsoft fiscal year 2026 multi-year contracts, the Technology Services Department fiscal year 2027 operating budget proposal places funds to better use and decreases the overall amount of the requested fiscal year 2027 budget. Instead of asking for a more substantial increase in funds, these projected savings are allowing us to fund most of the required increases with the savings the TSD team were able to secure. We are constantly looking for ways to reduce costs. For example, our efforts reduce costs for the Microsoft licenses by 13% per year with the new 3-year contract, and we reduced the county's Comcast bill for fiber lines by approximately 29%, resulting in projected savings over the 5-year contract. We are also researching an initiative to replace the county's phone system, which should also provide future cost savings by reducing the amount of hardware and utilizing more innovative cost-saving software options. These are all commendable efforts by the entire TSD team, especially when IT research and advisory firms have advised that IT leaders should anticipate at least an 8.9% rise or greater in IT product and service costs due to inflationary pressures, increased cloud computing expenses, and higher operational costs for managed services. This slide further highlights the specific accounting codes which have increases for the fiscal year 2027 operating budget. In support of governing IT industry compliance regulations in the ACCG insurance program, the TSD initiated expenditures in our budget directly support the ACCG cyber insurance program high priority controls to reduce risk factors. In technology, delaying or postponing replenishment or upgrading systems and applications creates a huge liability and could severely impact critical systems with disastrous consequences that grow with each passing day. The TSD budget is a reflection of the cost of a county doing business in the digital age. When it comes to technology support in the public sector, we ask that everyone recognize how important a role technology plays in just about everything a local government does, including public safety, utilities, communications like 911, transportation, and so forth. Technology is more than a simple expense line item because it supports just about every business that a local government deploys. Unfortunately, some do not realize this, and it's viewed by some more of a luxury than a necessity. An example that you see here of the items listed make reference to the tax commissioner's software increase. The amount of her software bill has increased since I've been in TSD. This software application alone has seen an approximately 50% increase in annual renewal rates, and the TSD budget allocations have not been increased at a comparable rate. Other examples, the budget is increased to cover the new NOC. A NOC is a Network Operations Center monitoring of the IT switches placed in the new JAC construction. NOC monitoring is the 24/7 surveillance of an organization's IT infrastructure. Networks, servers, applications, and cloud services, all of this has to be completed from a network operations center in order to make sure everything stays up and running securely. Another source for the increase is the county's network virtualization software licenses. The pricing and licensing model has undergone major changes, resulting in significant cost increases across the IT industry, which accounts for the reference increase within our budget. The remaining increases across the TSD budget covers over 100+ additional line items for recurring contracts, expenses, and services. With the federal budget cuts, the IT world and TSD have felt those cuts in several ways. One key area which had an immediate impact on our budget request was the elimination of federal funding for MSISAC, which is the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, and also CISA, which is the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Administration. This void has created bills for services which once were complementary. These entities are key sources for cyber threat prevention, protection, response and recovery, assistance, and most critical, timely cyber intelligence. Also, you see the area there for training, and some of the areas we're covering are our cybersecurity workforce development training program and our countywide computer security awareness training for all county end users. This is the current fiscal year 2026 organizational chart for the Technology Services Department. We completed an IT organization design and staffing assessment, which helps determine the staffing level by IT standards compared to similarly situated municipalities. It helped to ensure we were on target with the number of positions we request for TSD. We also consulted CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, and we've also, through them, conducted several on-site cybersecurity tabletops and online with them for security. We also completed the Microsoft Optimization Assessment. and we follow the standards of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, their cybersecurity framework, and we are completing their security compliance assessment also. These types of assessments, reviews, and others are key to reinforce that we are pursuing the right strategic roadmap, initiatives, and workloads, along with the requests that we receive from the departments in the elected offices. With that, Technology Services Department continues to be understaffed by at least 8 positions. Given the current parameters that we have been instructed to operate within, we are not requesting all of them today. Although we have requested the positions in the past and the need continues to exist, and given the drastic increase in national and local cyber events, the need is more dire. For the new proposed organizational chart, our business alignment continues to focus more on the operability of the county's network and security, along with technology business needs of the county's components. All of the divisions in TSD work very closely, and we cross-train team members to ensure the maximum use of human resources. For one of the positions requested, you'll see we're creating a new IT data business intelligence analyst. This position within the Technology Services Department is critical to strengthening the county's ability to leverage data as a strategic asset to support operations, planning, performance, management, and decision-making. As the county continues to expand its use of enterprise applications, cloud platforms, reporting tools, and countywide ERP environment, the demand for accurate reporting, dashboard development, data validation, and cross-department analysis has increased significantly. A dedicated data and business intelligence analyst will help to provide more focused expertise in collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data from multiple systems to support departmental leadership, elected offices, and county operations. Establishing this role helps to ensure Technology Services can deliver more consistent, timely, and actionable information to internal stakeholders while reducing dependency on ad hoc reporting by technical staff whose primary responsibilities lie elsewhere. This slide provides highlights from the National Association of County Organization, NACO's technology top 10 priorities on driving stronger technology and better services for our communities. Just to point out a couple of items here. One area is the cybersecurity services. Another is IT talent acquisition, retention, and future of work. Another is data governance and transparency. Another area is resiliency and IT strategy and roadmap, just to pull a few of them from the 10 priorities that are listed. All of these emphasize IT governance, risk management, and security measures for a strong foundation to provide better services for our community. Another key piece of literature that was crafted by NACO and was also distributed at the conferences is key artificial intelligence issues facing U.S. counties. To focus on just 2 sections from this booklet, the first one is legacy systems and data silos, block AI integration, which states the best way to prepare for newer technology is to ensure that foundational systems are up to date. And the next section I like to highlight is the cybersecurity risk amplified by AI. AI tools increase the potential attack surface. They consume and produce significant amounts of personal and organizational data. Counties are frequent targets and must maintain public trust while protecting sensitive data. The items covered in the TSD budget request help to address these areas and assist us as we move forward. As we increasingly receive deliverables around the clock to support all Rockdale County offices, the Technology Services Department has experienced a significant uptick in service requests and countywide technology initiatives. While the department has remained resourceful in meeting demands, the continued growth in project volume and service calls has created a critical need for additional personnel. These adjustments are necessary to alleviate workload, bottlenecks, and burnout, maintain service efficiency, reduce response times, and ensure the department can continue to support the county's expanding operational digital infrastructure and ensure continued system reliability and cybersecurity readiness. For example, just this summer, the open records requests have required TSD to address numerous requests from the different departments to give them the data that they need in order to answer the requests from the public. Our data pools from the county's resources have produced over 250,000 documents to respond to these requests. Over this last year, this workload has continued to grow. This slide provides additional justifications for the requested positions to improve the county's IT environment while providing a more solid foundation for all of the county to operate on. The current reality of doing business in a 2026 cyber world plays a major role in our request for additional positions and funding for TSD. It has to be noted that TSD is currently understaffed and additional positions are needed. Cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue, it's a public safety issue. The cyber risk has a direct impact on protecting county systems, resident data, and public trust. This slide references some general statistics for the IT world that we all live in today. The dramatic rise in cyber attacks globally, particularly ransomware incidents, signals an urgent need for a robust cybersecurity framework. Organizations must prioritize cybersecurity, adopting customized strategies to effectively combat the evolving threat landscape. By implementing security measures, fostering a culture of awareness, and preparing for potential incidents, government entities can better defend against the relentless tide of cyber threats. The time to act is now, before the next wave of attacks strikes. Since the submission of this PowerPoint 2 weeks ago to the Finance Department, even more local Metro Atlanta attacks have occurred. Because if you notice in the bottom square there, it says local attacks. Since then, there's been an attack in Newton County. There's been one in Clayton County with their water authority. There's been one in Ackworth for the cybersecurity incident. And last night on the news, Columbus, Muskogee County was also added because their water authority was added to this list of local attacks. Also, just this week, the national news reported that 7 states have reported cybersecurity attacks targeting water systems. Within hours, it increased from 7 states to 12 states, and the state of Georgia was included in both reports. Technology Services continues to partner with the Rockdale Water Resources to be proactive with security measures. Please note the bold items that are listed there. They are key to remember when we discuss the CIP requests. The positions and funding requested for the fiscal year 2027 budget will help Rockdale to meet these compliance and governance requirements highlighted on this slide. One of the items highlighted are the new CJIS compliance requirements that are due in 2027. CJIS is the FBI's Criminal Justice Information Services. For the new CJIS requirements, the county systems and access have to be updated to comply with these new regulations. Please note, the non-compliance risk is loss of access to criminal justice data systems. that are used by the police, the courts, and plus we will have potential penalties if we're not in compliance. This slide also highlights that county governments and businesses are increasingly exploring AI, especially generative AI, to improve efficiency, service delivery, and decision-making. However, adoption requires clear policies, governance frameworks, and risk mitigation to protect the public trust and compliance. These are all key foundational blocks that TSD continues to work on to ensure a resilient network is available for all departments and elected offices. And thank you for the opportunity to present the capital request for the Technology Services Department for the next 5 years. The majority of TSD's CIP budget requests consist of technology program and improvements. In this proposal, we tie each of the areas listed above to the county strategic themes of SET: sustainability, economic development, and transparency. For the first highlight, I'll make reference to number 1. It is to support the county IT operations while providing security and sustainability of operations. In order to strengthen our cybersecurity posture, ensure data recovery, and security in case of an event, we have identified the items that you see listed in the CIP budget request. To highlight one key line item, the network infrastructure needs to be upgraded. Critical network infrastructure upgrades are needed to maintain reliable county communications and operability. This item has been on our CIP request for several years now. Previously, we had time to spread this cost over multiple years. The county should delay no longer. We will have to address this entire amount in one fiscal year due to the life cycle expiration of this equipment. For the next highlight, number 3, establish business intelligence tools to improve business continuity. Currently, the county has approximately 100 different software applications to assist with business operations. An enterprise system would help streamline the workflows and business processes throughout the county and integrate the business functions. A county's ERP system plays a crucial role in supporting economic development by improving efficiency, transparency, and collaboration with the county, making it a more attractive and effective place for businesses to operate and for residents to thrive. And for the last highlight from this page, number 5, improve technology infrastructure. This section for building improvements, renovations, and expansions is to support a computer lab to run a virtual environment and simulations. This will enable us to better test rollout of software, server upgrades, and network configuration changes before they are deployed into the actual working environment. This is another area where the county has the opportunity to reduce risk and improve efficiency for county offices. It will also provide the workspace desperately needed for working on computers and computer deployments and refresh for the county end users. Once the JAC office moves are completed, Suite B next door to us should be vacant at that time, and it will be ample space to address our need for space. This strategic initiative also covers the county's need to upgrade multi-gig cabling throughout the county to update it from outdated versions to the current industry standards. These infrastructure improvements will help to make the county end users more effective and efficient. This provides an overall summary of the capital improvement projects for the next 5 years, with the funding for the proposed projects distributed over a 5-year period. Again, these expenditures help to provide improvements in hardware, software, and IT infrastructure for the entire county government, thus enabling us to come closer to being one county, one network, one Rockdale. In conclusion, the Technology Services Department is committed to ensuring Rockdale County's technology infrastructure remains secure, sustainable, and forward-thinking. The achievements highlighted in this briefing reflect TSD's dedication to innovation, operational excellence, and collaboration across county departments. As cyber threats and technological demands continue to evolve, it is imperative to prioritize investments in cybersecurity, infrastructure upgrades, and workforce development. The proposed initiatives and budget requests for fiscal year 2027 through 2031 CIP aim to address critical needs, enhance service delivery, and support the county's strategic objectives. By advancing key projects, fostering cross-departmental partnerships, and staying ahead of emerging challenges, TSD will continue to serve as a trusted backbone for Rockdale County's operations. Together, we can ensure a resilient, technology-driven future for our community. Thank you for your attention and your support of the county's technology program. We understand that without security, there will be no business. Without the business, there will be no need for security. And in technology services, we work to find the medium. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your thoughtful presentation. On this capital project list, is this representative of the order, the priorities?
No, ma'am, that's not.
I didn't think so. Okay.
No.
So can we get a priority list?
Sure,
for
we'll be happy to give you
2027?
one.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, so Madam Chair and Commissioner, let me tell you where we are. I think we're in need of a little bit of a break. We have been able to move some people up in their time slots. However, the public defender will not be able to be here until 4 o'clock.
I'm gonna see, can we have her tomorrow possibly?
I could reach back out to her to see if she could come tomorrow as well.
Okay. I can squeeze her in somewhere.
Yeah, I'll see. But we would still need a little bit of a break, so. Unless we're taking live callers. I mean, I can take it live. I can do that.
No, wouldn't we be finished today?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the last presenter. Everyone else was able to move up today, but it's created a gap.
Yeah.
And she's not able to.
So we're good.
So
We can go ahead and break for the day.
I would wait until we hear from the public defender first. Just out of, right. Just out of courtesy for her schedule, since she was, she did agree to this time slot, correct? Yeah. Okay. The finance department set up the appointments, so I was just making sure. So give me a few minutes and I'll see if I can get her.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Can I see the schedule for tomorrow, please?
Is juvenile court, magistrate court, transportation department, superior court 1 and 2, state court 1 and 2. And we start at 10 a.m.
There's only 2 hours.
Okay.
It's condensed tomorrow.